Okay. Itamixkanatani, good morning. It is just past 7 o'clock in the AM live on Sunday, June 14th, 2020 in the lunar cycle opposite Satos, the flower moon. And I'm out here at Spobikimi. It's a little breezy, so I don't know how the sound quality is going to be. I was expecting to meet my friend Carol out here for the usual Sunday walk and talk, but she's not here, so we must have got our wires crossed. So I figured, well, might as well take the opportunity and go live. See the Canadian Pacific Rail going across. We got a male red-winged blackbird. I need to get a selfie stick with one of those stabilizing mechanisms in it, because I noticed the last live video was pretty shaky. It's chilly this morning and windy, like you can probably hear. Got on my 3 layers on top, just the shorts as usual below. I'm going to try to hold this thing a little bit more stable today. So what's new? What's new out here? Well, I was looking out for this. I don't know if you can see here, but the crested wheatgrass has a kind of a blue flower, this species. Starting to come in on some of the seed heads. They're starting to flower here. You wouldn't notice if you didn't look close. Looks like most of the lens potted hoary cress is shifting to seed. Flowers are fading out. Yeah, that patch down there is just completely going to seed now. The season just goes so quick, you know. If you wanted to harvest that plant for its greens while they were at their best, you know, that opportunity is gone. Lots of different mustards here, but they'll turn pretty quick too. Now, of course, you can go after the seeds. Well, it looks like when we get up here by the beaver lodge, I'm going to be able to show you the male redhead who's still around. How terrible is that wind noise? Yeah, that is the redhead drake. It's been sticking around, and mostly here at mid-pond. Once I saw him accompanied by another drake. I don't know if he has a missus, and if he does, whether she's nested here, but there was a couple who were here before, you know, and now just the drake, so. Yeah, it's different. We get our different seasons here. Everything's nice and green now. We had thunder showers last night. We had tornadoes. Morning. We had tornadoes, not here in Lethbridge. I think maybe the nearest tornado was by Tabor, something like that. How do you relocate foxes? Well, it's tough. You'd have to, you'd have to trap them, and you'd want to move the whole family at once. So you'd have to, locate an appropriate den site. There's all kinds of stuff going on here on the trail. Whoa. This little mountain cottontail here. Oh, there's a killdeer kind of running ahead of me too. Gotta look at those messages again. Let's see. Back to foxes. Yeah, you'd have to find an appropriate den site and move the whole family to that den site and hope that they stuck, This is the problem. Like, you can get young to stick where you want them to, often enough, but getting an adult fox, a canine in fear, to just stay where you dropped her off. I don't know. But yeah, to get them out of your place, you can trap them. Move them as a family, then at least they have each other. It's a female common merganser here. Yeah, we are in the kind of the early phase of our summer. We're asking whether, because Australia is in their winter. Yeah, right now we're in the early phase of our summer. Yeah, it's nice to see it this lush. It sucks that it'll be so brief. Little tree swallows and stuff passing around me now and then. Yeah, the summer season here. So I go by the Blackfoot calendar, which has just summer and winter season, and you have 7 winter lunar cycles every year, and summer can be 5 or 6 depending on the year, but it's usually 5. So we got a bit of a shorter summer than winter here, and the switch between them is pretty drastic. Yeah, right now we are at the end, well, coming on the end of the first summer lunar cycle, the first of the 5. See what kind of shape the currant berries are in. I'm looking forward to currants. Oh, they're just tiny little things at this point. It's gonna be a bit yet. Not surprising. I wasn't expecting any berries for probably 3 weeks out, at least. Then the first ones will start coming in. You can See if you can beat the birds to it. Yeah, these are all currants here. So we got 3 different species. Oh, there's some with berries coming in a little bit. Oh, that one I think is something weird happened to it. But there are a few larger berries coming in. Yeah, we got 3 different, well, varieties of, I think, the same species, which is, we got our golden currants, black currants, and red currants. Who do we have whistling over here? Let's see if we can find out. Oh, it was an oriole. Just flew past. So I kind of thought it was going to be. Oh, we still got an oriole here somewhere. It's being quiet now. How's the Saskatoons looking? Yeah, it's not too bad. And we might as well show the chokecherries. They're over here giving me this look like, oh, you guys show everybody else and not show what's going on with us. Here you go. You're on camera. It's your day. Actually, when you look at these, check out how many are already plucked. And it's pretty much uniformly that way, you know, throughout this patch of chokecherries. So somebody's already eaten them. Lots of, I don't know if you can see that, but there's lots of cotton in the air. Let's go over here and see if we can get right into the cotton fray. We need another good little wind burst. It's all coming off of this tree here. I can see it in the air, but let's see if I cover it with my hand, if that helps. Yeah, now you can get a feel for it, hey? It's like it's snowing. Yeah, the whole forest is full of cottonseed. You can hear those male orioles in the background. There we go. There was the river's pretty high, hey, right now. Not quite flooded, but pretty high. Lots of debris in it still. And there was some girls upstream. Yeah, it really looks different in this, when it's so green like this. Yeah, some girls upstream were in a canoe, and their canoe got turned over or something. And I don't know if they found the third girl yet, but two of them were found drowned that day. And then I know that they've been scouring the river. I've seen them scouring the river upstream a little bit by the weir, trying to find the third girl. I don't know if they ever were successful or not. I should go down this way. Drop into the forest on this side. Well, I'll see how muddy it looks. My top strap on my air boot, which I've already repaired once. This could be the chokecherry culprit right here. This is a cedar waxwing sitting in a chokecherry tree. Are you eating the early chokecherries? I think you probably are, huh? So bloated on chokecherries, you don't even mind me sitting here with you. Too fat, doesn't want to even fly away. Yeah, I can see chokecherries here have been eaten a bit too. I bet it was the waxwings, that's what I was gonna guess. I forget what I was talking about before I got distracted by the waxwing. Oh yeah, my strap. My strap on my air boot. It's breaking again in another spot. About ready to break out of this boot anyway. Oh, what do we have here? Little raccoon action in the forest, Maine. Recently, with the new rains anyway, overnight. Is that last message? Yeah, young girls. Young girls. I think they might have been Hutterite girls. I think they said they were from, they might have been from Spring Coulee Colony, maybe. I'm not sure, but some recent deer prints as well. And some canine, not accompanied by human or raccoon. So I'm guessing coyote, raccoon, and white-tailed deer. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. How's the silverberry doing? Is it done with flower? I can't smell it. It's not quite done with the flower, but it's getting close. Yeah, I can't smell it like I usually can when that stuff is in bloom. Even just passing by on the road, you can smell it. Wild vetch is in bloom. You can hear some yellow warblers around me. That one. There's a catbird in the background too. What sort of smell? What's it close to? What is it close to? Good question. I don't know, it's very pungent, flowery, like a potpourri-ish type of a smell, you know. That's what I could most easily relate it to, is like it's just so dense in the air. It's like somebody has used a flower scented air freshener or something, you know. But it's not, you know, it's not like a rose type of a flower smell. I don't know, I'm terrible at trying to describe this. You know, here there's very few wild bloomings where the scent is actually in the air strong enough that I catch it, you know. Of course, I think my senses have been, you know, battered into oblivion. All the skunks that I've dealt with and such. My sniffer doesn't work so well, you know. But I can sure smell the wolf willow. Oh, there was a little garter snake. He just headed into the grass here, just swift as could be. Probably anybody else would have walked past and not even noticed him. The big goose family out here on the wet meadow. from here I can... Do they stay? No, if you approach them, they're getting out of there. Right now, the geese are molting, so they are really not interested in flying anywhere right now. If you went after these guys, they're just going to get in the water and go to another spot of land away from you. And the ducks should be doing the same here really quick. They should be molting, and so they become flightless, you know, for a period. In the old days, that's when they would be hunted. You just have to use the body of water strategically. Set up guys hidden in reeds at one side of the body of water, and then use guys with floats. Sometimes they'd use burning rafts, you know, like rafts of burning wood and stuff, and kind of push those across the lake toward where they want the ducks to go, into the reeds. And they've got guys waiting to ambush grab them because they can't fly away, you know. Hear the oriole in the background. Yeah, the wet meadows are really wet. Otherwise I'd go out there. It's nice when they get flooded like that. This stuff will be blooming pretty soon. It's the showy milkweed. So the question was, do they molt and then fly north? No, they molt and then fly south. They molt, grow new feathers at the same time as their ducklings and goslings are growing in their first set of good flight feathers. And then they kind of teach them to fly. And after the geese here, really shortly after they start their flight training, maybe, you know, I'll observe them taking the goslings on short flights, just, you know, 30 meters, you know, not even far. And but those will increase, and, you know, 10 days into that, they'll leave. They'll depart the pond entirely, and I won't see them again till the next season or whatever. So yeah, once they learn to fly, and what they'll do is they'll go and they'll get in bigger and bigger family groups, leading up to the migration. Okay? Yeah, the one and only. The one and only. Uh-oh. Got a angry Red Wing papa kind of swooping over me. What was that? Yeah, I'm at the Spoke Gimme. For those just tuning in. Here for my usual Sunday morning walk. I expected I was gonna have Carol with me today, but for whatever reason she didn't show up. Oh, there's birds coming out of there who probably are nested. So since she didn't show up, I did a live walk around. Any more beavers? No. I set the trap 2 nights ago, and the beaver was there while I was setting the trap. So watched me set up the whole thing. Didn't go into the trap. And then next morning when I came to check, the beaver was in the canal itself, like it had gone through the culvert into the canal, into the main canal. So I might move the trap into the main canal. I didn't set the trap for last night because, I don't know if you can tell as I walked around today, but it's quite muddy because we had some big storms last night. And the area that I am taking the beavers to is really difficult to access when the conditions are muddy, and I don't want to get stuck anywhere. So I didn't set the trap for tonight or last night because I didn't want to have to move a beaver this morning with the muddy road conditions. But there is that beaver there. I've also been unbuilding the lodge that they're building. I haven't shown that in any of my videos yet, but I started because they are kind of building a lodge against the one shore. I'm not even going to be able to walk through here without getting my boot all nasty and muddy, so I'm going to go up the hill for this part here. Yeah, the beavers have started to build a lodge there. So I've started to disassemble the lodge. I think if I can just keep that area there clean of beaver built constructs and obvious occupants, then it's going to take a lot of other beavers up and downstream off the hook. From the potential of trapping and for killing them, a cull, as they normally would do annually. So I don't know. I gotta go after it, and I've also got to juggle it on the days, that I've really got the freedom to run around in the morning when Chelsea's here. My message is making it through. I think so. Did you ask something that I didn't address? 360 here. Made a statement about that monster beaver. Oh, I must have missed that. But it was quite a big animal. The one that's left in there that I know of is not nearly as large. Or at least doesn't appear so. You know, when I'm looking at it in the water, I guess we'll see. Any snake calls today? Not as yet, but I will expect some. I've been getting snake calls pretty much on the daily. That thing looked like a cow. It was a large beaver, yeah. It was. Don't think large is a word you mean massive. Okay. Like watching your videos. Thank Michael. Thanks for saving the beavers. Also heard what did you hear? I also heard eastern wood pewee, red-winged blackbird, yellow-headed blackbird. Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few voices in here. I know there's house wrens around. There's eastern kingbirds. We used to have, when I first started visiting the pond here, we used to have quite a few western kingbirds in the forest main. But I haven't seen them for, gee, I don't even know how long. It's closing in on a decade, I bet. Not here. I mean, I see them regionally, but not here at the pond. There's a flower that grows right in here, and I'm waiting for it to bloom. So I want to investigate and learn what it is. I didn't learn it last year when I first noticed it, and now I've kind of don't know where the photograph was that I took of it. Have you ever ran snake on your walks? Yeah, I ran into one just back there. Like earlier on this walk, I ran into a snake. It was a garter snake, wandering garter snake. But yeah, I run into snakes quite frequently, actually. Hey Scotland. I was gonna say, hey from Scotland. See, Okie from Lethbridge. That is our city's official greeting. against those whitetails who were probably running away from my voice. You ever got bitten by a rattler on my calls? Hey, Australia. Have I ever got bitten by a rattlesnake on my calls? No, I've never been bitten by a rattlesnake, period. When you're going crossbow hunting, I don't know, my crossbows are my crossbows are all caught up at Mahoney's house, but I now have a compound bow, which is probably what you're referring to. So yeah, probably doing compound bow hunting later in the summer, you know. We'll see what the needs are. But that's definitely on the agenda. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, the compound is what you meant. Yeah, I like that new bow. I gotta play with it. I gotta go fix it with the arrow rest and some sights and some arrows. That'd be good to go. My friend Tom has an acreage here where he has archery targets here and there throughout the acreage, and throwing axe targets and throwing knife targets. So I'll go over there and shoot once I've got the bow fixed up. We'll go out onto this dock here. Yeah, I've only been to Australia though once. I went there for a World Indigenous Peoples Conference on Education, WIPSI. It was in Melbourne. And we got out of the city, I think, 1 or 2 days. We went to an island near Melbourne called Prince Philip, maybe, something like this, but there were some environmental projects with some dune nesting terns that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's very windy here. But I hiked through the forest a little bit while we were out of the city one day. And sure enough, I ran into some kangaroo-ish kind of a thing, probably some wallaby or something, I don't know, but it was it was like running into a deer, you know. It went blasting out of the way. I really want to do Costa Rica again now. glutton for punishment. So over here we're going to start seeing some red-winged blackbird nests. They were building them the other day. I think I showed in one of my videos some of the construction going on. So just out here we have a nest right close to the dock. I don't know if you can see it there. I'll dip my phone. It's pretty hidden in there, but it's a kind of a hanging basket nest with a little opening on one end. Over the water, which is the preferred method for those guys so that they avoid predators. If they weren't over the water, I would have stuck the camera right into the nest. True story. There's another nest just out here. See it in the reeds there. Of course, we've got turtles basking nearby. See if I can get an angle on him for those that want to see the turtle. Right there. Painted turtle, Spoke B. In the afternoon, that whole log there will be filled with turtles. I always scope out the this time of year. I look at these little pieces of floating wood, not so much the big ones, but the smaller pieces. And I'm looking for water bug eggs. Giant water bugs are gonna start laying their eggs on these things. Do you know what species they are? Which? The turtles? Turtles are painted turtles. The water bugs I'm talking about right now are the giant water bugs. They lay their eggs. It looks like barnacles almost in a tight cluster on the top of the logs. The first time I saw it, I thought it might be like baby snails, hey, or something like that, all in one tight cluster, like 100 of them, you know. But it was not snails. And usually, well, always, I think, when they're like that, the little piece of wood that they're floating on, the mom hides underneath it. Oh, the reeds, these are bulrush reeds. So the redwings are making their nests in and of the bulrush reeds. They're using last year's old bulrush pieces that were in the water and wet and pliable, and they use those to weave hanging basket nests in this year's new green reeds. Yeah, the giant water beetles is what I'm looking for. Mama usually sits with those eggs. She just hides underneath the piece of wood, and apparently they have quite a bite. Although I did a video one time where I did a rescue of a water bug. I had gone to a meeting at Opagus here in Lethbridge, and somebody had trapped a water bug. Well, they found it in the parking lot, and they trapped it in a bottle. A lot of times the water bugs will try to migrate to a different body of water so they can fly. They might end up anywhere, and so people will find them like in the mall parking lot or whatever, and they'll think we've got cockroaches or something all of a sudden in Lethbridge, you know. But it's just a giant water bug that's been misplaced. Anyway, I got my hands on one of these, brought it to a pond and released it. And as I was releasing it, I got a little bite, but apparently not its big bite, because it's supposed to have a real whopper of a bite. And it wasn't that bad what I got. Yeah, sorry if you can't hear me because of the wind. I didn't intend to go live today. If I was gonna choose a day, I would choose one without the wind, you know. Didn't hear the ending of the beetle stuff. Yeah, long story short, I got bit by one of those water beetles, but apparently it wasn't its full bite, because the bites are supposed to be really wicked. And although mine hurt, or surprised me more than anything, can't really say that it hurt so bad, but yeah, bulrush. We are almost back. Full circle. To where this walk began. Right here at these roses. It's a really nice example of prickly rose at its best, at its prime. Now this has a flower scent in the air, but it's a distinctively rose smell, you know. You bet, Chrissy. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we're at the end of the line, so I'm gonna go back to my day. We'll see if there's any rattlesnakes. Probably will be. And then, check with you guys soon again. Keramatse nohpoa. See you all again.